Okay, peace to the family. So I'm here. Before we finish doing what we doing, we live from the pyramid, baby. We're inside the pyramid. That's why this is slow. Just getting into town to do our thing. We in Kemet right now.